Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Unreal World. I am Wolfric, and we are in the middle of tailoring. We are tailoring ourselves a nice set of clothing. We've got the fur, cap, shirt, mittens. We need leggings. Leggings are all that is left, and it's only £3. So I will try and do it now before we become absolutely shattered and pass out. £3.50. We're going to have so much fur left over. I may actually just leave the reindeer fur as is for the moment as a sleeping fur. Sleeping furs are so comfortable in real life. If you have never slept on a fur before, I would suggest it. I'm not all about fur clothes and fur is murder and all that. I have no real opinion on that whatsoever. However, I have slept on sleeping skins before. From can't remember now. I think it was a mixture of sheep skins and reindeer skins, or deer skins. But I did it with a reenactment group that I was a member of, and it was so comfortable. You could just sleep on the rugs, and no tent above you. It was just beautiful, and it wasn't even like middle of the summer. We're talking like near to the end of summer, early autumn when it's getting cold. It's just like, I'm going to sleep on this fur. So comfortable. So we might actually do that, because that is actually a thing in this game. You can sleep on furs and it will keep you warm without a fire nearby. So we have got the leggings. Time to put the rest of this stuff on. Our fur shirt and fur leggings, fur cap. Why can't we put that on? Because we've got a birch bark cap, that's right. So we'll put them on, and we're going to take off the birch bark cap and wear the fur one. There we go. And now we are going to drop the birch bark one, because it's only £1 and we're going to burn the crap out of it. What have we actually got in the way of stuff on us in a minute? We've got £10 of harsh bear fur, we've got some food. We are looking really good with our clothing now. Let's have a look at our armor screen. Oh yes. Right, so blunt. So getting hit with the likes of maces and whatnot, we have excellent protection. Point, not the best. Point is obviously stabbing, so spears and whatnot, which is why I am so desperate to get a decent spear like a Calmo spear or a Northern spear, because points are thrusting attacks are the best against fur, so hunting obviously, and seeing as we want to live as a hunter, a spear is the best way to take down kills. So obviously we're not going to be too protected against points, but that's only really going to be if we come up against other humans with spears, which I hopefully don't want to do. Squeezing, so getting crushed by a bear, are average protection. Edge, excellent. We are wonderfully protected against edged weapons, so anybody with a sword. Our arms and head and neck are quite unprotected, but that's not too bad. At least our body and legs are well prepared. Tear, excellent. We have got at least average protection, which is wonderful, because this means that we can come up against a bear or a wolf or anything else, and we are going to have excellent protection against them. And then warmth, again, warmth and tearing are the real things that as hunters living in the wild are going to be our main concerns, because protection against the animals actually attacking us obviously going to be important, but then if we happen to fall asleep out in the middle of the wilderness with no fire and no shelter, at least we're going to stay warm. And on average it's pretty damn good. We've got superior protection over our body overall, but everywhere else could just do with a little bit of improvement. But that's good, we're doing well. So, no more clothing. We might actually, we're going to do some repair work. We're going to repair all of these clothing that we can, which at the minute appears that will only be the fur cloak, because we don't have any wool or linen or nettles to repair the other stuff. So in the meantime we will use the harsh bear fur to, actually no, we will use the, we've still got a little bit of boar leather, who knew? We'll use the harsh reindeer fur to repair our cloak. So I've got to take it off, And then actually we'll do that in the morning because we're about to go to sleep. No, Wulfric. Right, go to sleep. You think you heard some rustle? Oh, wonderful. Go to sleep. Morning. That's better. Right. Eat. Finally used up all of that fat. That lasted a long time. You see what I mean? That was like 3 pounds of fat, I think, and it lasted us for a couple of days. And like one bite completely refills your hunger bar. It's wonderful. Right, so let us make clothing, repair worn out clothes. We're going to repair the fur cloak using the forest reindeer. There we go. Now I'm not sure if this is going to lower the quality of our cloak or not, but meh. You finished repairing your fur cloak. Is it now a rough fur cloak? No, it is not. However, it's still not full. Can we still repair that more? Let's try. Repair the fur cloak. Huh. Fair enough. Just the bar isn't full, but okay. Game says it's repaired. We'll take that as repaired. And it is now 14 pounds in weight instead of the whatever it was before. 9? 8? Something like that. Right, so we can put that back on again. No, not wield, wear. There we go. Wear the fur cloak. There we go. So, look at our inventory. We are doing great on clothing now. We have got 10 pounds of bear fur left and 3 pounds of harsh reindeer fur, but our clothing is taken care of. So we could now use that for... oh, I might have used the reindeer fur for a sleeping rug, didn't I? Meh, it's fine. We can still sleep on the 3 pounds to the left and the 10 pound bear fur, which is what we're going to do for now. We are just going to drop it here for sleeping, because there's nothing more that I want to make out of it at the moment. So what have we got here at the moment? We have bandages but no injuries. We've got our weapons, we've got our water skin, we've got a bit of leather left which we'll probably use up at some point. We've got a fishing rod, we've got 4 primitive cords, and we've got a fair amount of food left for now. And bark, that's fine, and branches, which we will keep there for the purposes of making arrows, but we're going to move them with the rest of that bundle over there. There we go. Just try and stay a little bit organised, yada yada. And let's see what we've got here. Dried wild boar is going to be 11 days. Sorry about that technical issue. The cord on my microphone came out briefly. Right, these are all ready. And they are going to take forever. Oh, I wasted my life making cords. Oh my god, it begins. Oy. Right, so I've been thinking about when we do settle down. I've been looking at some forum posts and general ideas that people have had, and I've decided that I'd like to find a nice little island, because I don't like the idea of a Njerpa's warrior just wandering up in the middle of the night and bashing me over the head. It has never, ever, ever happened to me before. I have never been attacked in my sleep. The only time that has come close was I was sleeping in a shelter like this. I didn't have a house. I fell asleep and I woke up to find that there was a badger, like, right there by the waterfront, like 6 tiles away. So without even getting up, you know, it wakes you up and you're still lying prone because you thought you heard some rustle, and you just go, saw the badger, and without even standing up, picked up a javelin and threw it and speared it through the head, and promptly went back to sleep. Didn't bother to butcher or anything the carcass. That was like, and just leave it for the morning, and it was still there, so butcher it and whatnot then. And that is the closest I have ever come to actually have being truly interrupted in the middle of the night. I've never been interrupted by a wandering traveller or an Iapes warrior or anything else. So I'm not really too worried about that. However, it happens. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it won't at some point. So I'd like to set up on an island somewhere in the middle of a lake or a river. But I want to be finicky and picky here, because I'd also like to have it in the middle of a lake or a river. Well, yeah, it'd have to be a river, because I'd like to be surrounded by rapids. Because rapids are I think the only place actually that you can find salmon and trout. So if I was to get a boat and some fishing nets and place the nets in the middle of a river rapid, then I've got a higher chance of catching trout and salmon, which is awesome because each one of them is like £7 each or more, I think. And so you smoke them, and that's a really good source of food. Fish is actually the most nutritious food in the game. It's just a pain in the ass to get hold of. But if we could actually set up a system where we could passively get hold of some big fish, then I would be really happy with that. But then if we're on an island, we won't have to worry about being attacked by anyone, because NPCs don't actually travel across water. And the only other stipulation that I have is I want it to be in the north. So, like I've already said, near the Owl Tribe territory. Although, I'm starting to have second thoughts about that, because I was under the impression that you had to go further north to get the really big game. However, after reading the wiki and this and that and everything else, I'm starting to come to the conclusion that all of the really big game, like bears and stags and elk, are in their highest concentration where we are right now, in Calmo territory, which is why Calmo are known as the big hunter culture, is because all of the big game is around here, which is why they're such successful hunters, etc. So I might want to actually try and stay in the Calmo territory, and then try and find a river with rapids in around here somewhere. Wow, we're starting to get a bit low on our reindeer cuts. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure how well that plan is going to go. Best laid plans of mice and men and all that. So, how many chords have we actually got now? 17, 20, so we've got 5 more to do, so we'll do that tomorrow. Wake up feeling hot. Yeah, heat is no longer going to be an issue for us. I mean, it's this early summer now, and we just finished a full set of fur clothing, so if heat exhaustion was an issue in this game, we would probably now be at risk of suffering from that. But we're not, so it's fine. We are just going to happily live out the summer in complete and utter comfort, sweating away like pigs. And then when the winter comes along, we are going to be absolute kings among men. So, that is the last of our chords. 23 primitive chords. That should be more than enough for now. So that's how many? 19 a chord, so that's 190, 280 cuts of meat that we could prepare with that stack alone, with 3 more there. 2 inferior soaked branches. Of course there were 2 that I missed. Of freaking course. I thought that I should have been 25. I was really confused when it was saying you don't have enough. And of course it was because 2 different quality of branches. It wanted me to choose the other quality, and I didn't fucking think of it. So 25, so that's even more. Something in your pack is smelling foul. There we go. Spoiled roasted reindeer. Oh boy. Here's where it starts to get to the point of gripping your seat territory. Because we now have no decent food except those eight smoked elk cuts. So until our smoked food or dried food, whichever happens first, is finished, we are now living on short supply. However, we should be alright. You can survive, supposedly, for weeks at a time without food, as long as you've got water. It will take us a while to get our nutrition back up to abundant, which is actually surprising because it's gone down a bit at the minute. It's only good. It should be abundant. We've not been starving. We've been eating plenty of good food. I guess forest reindeer just isn't as nutritious as bear meat. But that's fine. So we'll be fine. We should survive. Unless something horribly unforeseen comes along. Like a bear. With a grudge. Because we killed its brothers. Bring it on! Right, gonna put a cut in the video here. We will be back next time. Until next time, I'll see you later.